Hello, welcome to Nocti by Kali j.N.S. And today we're going to continue with the Black Man series. And this one is part 6 to the series, which is titled, What Did the Black Woman Encode in the Black Man's DNA? And the answer is writing. So again, these series are abstract. It requires a level of abstract thinking. These are philosophical questions to get you to ponder on the nature of the African. And by that I mean everybody in the diaspora, as well as anyone who has that African ancestry, which would be Black Americans. So again, Black Americans, this is a series for you. And the diaspora as well. But as you look through the series, you're probably like, why is it so much African? And why isn't there anything within the last 500 years in this series? And that is because it focuses on our ancestors. It focuses on at least a good 1,000 all the way up to 30,000 years of history. Before we got enslaved, before our ancestors were subjugated. So we're focused on what transpired in the past that still is embedded in our cell DNA memory consciousness. You have to remember that the Africans started mathematics. The Africans started writing and architecture and iron smelting and civilization. And this can be proven, which I have been proven to you in the previous 5 parts. So it's important to start there, because then you know who you are and what is a part of you still. So now we're 500 years removed from Africa, but those things are very much still a part of our cell memory consciousness, linked to the DNA. So we cannot forget that. We can't remove ourselves from such a vast history that is a part of us. So granted, we've been over here for 500 years and we've been doing our own thing and developed our own culture and developed our own nuance, as well as we have our own figures now that have continued the path of writing and continued to do mathematics and continue to do all the things that I'm telling you about. But I'm emphasizing these encodings because whether we want to admit it or not, the black man has went astray, clearly went rogue 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago with the overthrow of the Queen Mothership, and has not been able to quite recapture his essence within the last 1,000 years, starting with the Indo-European invasion, and then the trade deals that was made with the Arabs, and then the European, and so on, the Portuguese and all that stuff. So all of that messed our people up, whether we want to admit it or not. Now, we have been able to thrive in spite of the things that we have been going through, but we also are not living up to our potential. So I show you the vastness of our history so that you're like, whoa, these are the things that we've done. These are the things that we're capable of. And what are we doing in this subjugated state? So this is why I'm bringing you the Black Man series, so that young boys, black women, black men, they can see that this is what you are both capable of. This is all you know. This is all you do when you are unfettered and when you don't have sabotagers and weirdos obsessed with us. This is what we do. We do civilization. We build powerful architectures of which cannot even be replicated to this day. So this is what is inside of you. So a lot of us, we're taught that these things started in Mesopotamia, but again, I prove that a lot of this stuff started in sub-Saharan Africa, and I will go on record saying that in that Mesopotamian area, those were black people, like the Babylons and the Sumerians. Those were black people, hands down. But when I was in 6th grade learning about that stuff, I was presented photos of Greek looking people or they just people that did not, I literally grew up thinking that Mesopotamian was white. Mind you, that's the area of Iran and Iraq and those people weren't always there. Everything was nomadic back then. We're talking about 5,000, 10,000, 1,000, 6,000, whatever years ago. These were black people that were in those areas. So I just don't, why I acknowledge that and admit that, I just don't think that that is the crux of black civilization. I don't think that's the first civilization. I just don't. And we can prove that there are other civilizations that existed before them, starting with the Noak civilization, 5th century BC to the 2nd century CE, which was, some of these things that we found were 20,000 years old over in that civilization. And that's in modern day Nigeria, but so I just think that everything was popping, and that there was a lot of things hidden. And then of course you have Egypt and Mesopotamia that are the heights of black civilizations. But I will go on record saying that I think that Ghana can top it. I think Mali is definitely up there, and Aksum, and all of our civilization. So that's the distinction that I want to make when talking about Mesopotamia versus the traditional aspects of what we've been taught regarding sub-Saharan Africa and just Africa in general. And that is why I did not cover the Sumerians and all of that stuff, because I wanted to kind of prove that the stuff that we were doing things before then. So as you remember, the Black Man series consists of part 1, which is who created the black man, which we discovered was the black woman. And we broke down the law of gender using the teachings of Tahuti, our ancestor, as well as the laws of chemistry, the scientific laws of chemistry. So we broke down the law of gender and how the feminine energy means path to generation and path to descent, through which the masculine energy gives it inherent energy too, but also receives inherent energy. And she is the path to generation. So that's how we came to the conclusion that the black woman created the black man. And she is his creator. And he knows that on a subconscious level. Now, he did get resentful of that 1,000 years ago and overthrew our asses. Killed 10,000 black women, to be exact, to overthrow the Queen Mothership, to make deals with the Portuguese. Sure did. And the Arabs. So I have to laugh to keep from crying, but this is honestly the start of where all the fuckery began, and literally why we got subjugated. So the black man also knows that too. Again, this is on a subconscious level. So he knew that we were his creator, and it was kind of like this resentful aspect of it, because everything was a hierarchy, and everything was centered around the mama. So everything that the black man did, whether he was in position of kingdom or whether he's very powerful positions, and he did receive honor and glory during these days, but absolute power corrupts absolutely. This was just not enough, especially coming into contact with these foreigners and seeing how they did their women. And it was kind of like, are we doing something wrong here? Why are our women in such powerful positions, and why do we give them all the administrative tasks? Yeah, we hunt and we do we do soldiers, we do military, we do the manly things around here. But I mean, the women is just running around here, running everything. What the hell? So I gotta go to mama in order to do all of the trade deals I want to do, to make all of the money that I want to do, and to make the decisions that I need to make for the kingdom. I gotta go to these elders and to these damn queen mothers. Fuck that. Let's get our strongest and let's go to town and get rid of these women, because now they want to say that we're not allowed to trade with no foreigners. Absolutely not. And the rest is history. And obviously those men, those patriarchs that they were hoping to get into on the global trade enterprise, backstabbed them and said, the Portuguese, the kings of, there's literally letters that are in museums right now that you can read, where African kings were pleading for the Dutch and the British and the Portuguese to honor their deals, and to, why are you stealing our land? Why are you stealing our people? What the hell's going on? We agreed to sell that other tribe. Now you're trying to come and get us? And these white guys was writing back, look, did nobody tell you to, look, it is what it is. And it was like, you ain't show us the proof that we stealing your people. Next thing you know, the whole tribe is literally disappeared. I mean, this stuff is like there's so many artifacts in the museum. There are 14 million African artifacts. You don't think there's no maps and there's no letters available? You know that Africans invented writing. Timbuktu had over 700,000 scripts of writing and math. You don't think that there's letters that exist to this day? There certainly are. So this is why I did the Black Man series, because he has fallen off. He has fallen off, and he knows he has. And do I have judgment? Do I have any malice in my heart? When I first heard about this Queen Mother stuff and the overthrow, I was very hot. And then you see the way the black man treats the black woman today. Of course, you're going to be looking like, whoa, you know, so we start putting two together. I just know the shit is going to another transcendence as far as the paradigm of shifting, and the Queen Mothers are being ordered to be awakened again. They're being ordered to come back alive, and the energy of Hathor, the energy of Kali, the energy of Bastet, Lakshmi, Durga, Isulidanto, all of these energies are literally penetrating this earth, trying to get the black woman to wake her ass up and get the black man to wake his ass up. And the mother goddess is trying to tell the black man, this is how you get out of your karmic retribution right now. You want to get out of this karma, because they are literally about to flood this planet with so many plagues and so much rage, because we're out of the age of Pisces. That 2,000 years is up of the emotional age of the slumber of the black race. So that's done. So now is this feminine rage, dark energy on this planet right now. And you know, when I say dark energy, I'm talking about melanated feminine energy. And she's trying to make the proposition to the black man. Now, will he listen? Will he answer the call to restore the Queen Mothership? Will he answer the call to restore his soul blueprint? Restore his soul blueprint so that he can reach enlightenment and transcendence. Will he do that? Time will tell. So the Black Man series is a reminder. It's just literally like the snapshot of our history for 20,000 years, and it's rhetorical, it's philosophical, it's abstract, and it's meant for the black man to say, okay, this is how I was created. This is who I was created to be. These are the things that I'm capable of. These are things that I know inside of my brain, no matter what. No one can take it out of me. These are my encodings. These are the encodings in my DNA of civilization, of writing. And then I'm showing you the actual examples. So that is why this thing exists. So that is why I tell you, to go watch that Queen Mothership series, that 6 parts that I did, because that breaks down all of what happened and how did we get into the situation. And then I asked you to go get the Nakti Queen Mothership book, which are the solutions on how to start to prepare our mindsets for that energy that's coming in now. We got part 1, who created the black man. Then we got part 2, why was he created? And then I break down using that analogy. It was a pretty silly analogy, but nonetheless, I mean, it was a cool one to get you to see how we're in a simulation, like a digital world, and the universe is like a freaking computer, damn near. So we have that whole essence of why was the black man created, and then we break that down. He's here as a guardian of the 3-dimensional realm of planet Earth, which is a physical, solid state of frequency, but there's also a spiritual side to why he was created. And while he's on this earth, he's supposed to be the defender and protector of planet Earth, animals and nature and water. And has he been doing that job? No, because he has let all these he wanted to do all those deals and do all those pacts with with people that are not of our bloodline. And now we found ourselves in this situation where and look at planet Earth, and look at these animals, and they're looking to the black man. They're crying out to the black man for his protection. We're talking about literally the animals. I've seen this with my own eyes. I've seen the way the gorilla interacts with the black man, and the way the elephants and the lions, literally lions, they don't go and attack the black man. They go in submission. So this is what the black woman set it up on this 3rd dimension. When I say black woman, I'm talking about that dark energy. That's dark energy is before time and space. That's Kali. That's the black woman. That's her energy that is embedded in her. And then of course you got intergalactic beings. You got all types of entities out there that has helped us and that has directed all of this energy. And of course, you have the infinite intelligence and the God, because the black woman is not the God, but she is a God. So we have all of that going on planet Earth. Again, I know you got to get real abstract on me. You have to use your brilliant mind. Okay, so now we got part 3. What did the black woman encode in the black man? That was civilization. You pretty much know that. We did all of the civilizations within the last 20,000 years. And then we had part 4, was what did the black woman encode in the black man? Again, it was architecture. So now we got all of the architectures that existed within the last 20,000 years. And then we have part 5, which was what did the black woman encode in the black man? Mathematics. Then we prove that for the last 35,000 years, black people have created calendars, accurate calendars that are still used to this day, starting with Nshambo and Nshango Bone, and then calculators, counting systems, all types of things that I showed you, using nature to form the basis of algebra and geometry and calculus and statistics, and I broke that down. So that is also the encoding. And again, Black American, I know I didn't cover nothing within the last 500 years because your ass has been here since the beginning of time. And a lot of you say, well, I was already over here. I went abroad over Africa. Those Native Americans that were here descended from Africa. They left earlier, before slavery. They just left. We're talking about 5,000. Again, I heard around 10,000 years ago, but I don't think it was that long ago. I think that they might have gotten a damn ship and a damn boat probably about 1,000, 2,000 years ago. Give it 1,500 years before actual slavery. But they did leave and they did come over here. And I do think that the Moors and all that was behind it. I think there was a lot of stuff going on. I don't know who built those ships, but apparently there were some tribes that took their ass from Africa before slavery and already came over here, and those were the Native Americans. They're not the light-skinned ones. I have not followed that. I'm just talking about the black Native Americans that were already over here, that look just like us today. So whether you saying, I was already over here before slavery, your ancestor, that haplogroup, that ancestor still comes from Africa, still African ancestry. So it doesn't even matter that I'm covering that aspect of history. So now we're on part 6, which is writing. And again, imagine yourself as your ancestors. Imagine yourself, just being willing and receptive to this information so that we can ascend our consciousness, so we can face the truth of what happened. And if I've given you the bad of what happened, now I have to give you the good of what happened in our history. I already told you how we got ourselves in this situation and got in a fucked up situation. Now I'm telling you what we were and things we were doing. This all adds to the whole entire narrative of who and what and of what we are, so that we can move forward. Seriously. So let's start. So as we know, Africa, it has the world's oldest and largest collection of ancient writing systems, and is actually home to the first identifiable proto-writing. And these dates of this evidence dates back to prehistoric time and can be found in all regions of Africa. But Africa's oldest known writing system is over 6,000 years old. And when you compare it to, like, say, the more modern writing systems like Greece, they started in 1400 BC as far as their actual concretized writing systems, which was obviously derived from the ancient African script called Proto-Sinaitic. Now, I could be pronouncing that wrong, sorry, but Proto-Sinaitic. So you've been doing this writing thing, and now let's actually talk about the history of it. So we're going to start with proto-writing, which started 60,000 years ago. So this is how writing developed in Africa. It was always meant to communicate ideas and concepts. That's why we always have the pictograms. And they have been doing the pictograph stuff to communicate concepts for at least 100,000 years in the form of engravings in caves. Now, we all know about the Bomblos caves in South Africa. And those pictures of those people, and it even got like 60,000 years ago. I even seen some shit where it looked like some damn aliens up on that on that cave. But that's story for other days. But I swear I saw they got horns and all types. And these were not animals. It was like a human being with like weird stuff and then like a damn saucer. Like in the caves, that's like 60,000 years ago. Now you can't really get pictures of that because of course they hide that kind of stuff. But the pictures that you do see here, these are of the South African ancestors that did this 60,000 years ago. And as you can see, look at this one with the black woman and her ass. So the black woman has always had that booty. 60,000 years ago, this is how God made her, to have that booty back there so that the baby can eat the fat during starvation. As far as being inside of the womb, that fat will be taken from the body and regenerated as energy. So when they didn't find food or whatever, was going through drought or whatever, the body could just eat its own butt fat. So that's pretty much common knowledge. So this is the pictures. You know, they wanted to mark their place in history. They wanted us to know that they were there. So this shit is still there to this day, 60,000 years ago. So imagine the amount of knowledge you had to know like what wasn't going to degrade. That's why they put it in caves. They didn't live in a fucking cave. It's just like, this is what will last, and this is the type of medium that we would use to make sure that it lasts 60,000 years. So these were very brilliant people. They actually mapped a whole constellations inside of these fucking caves. They would get high off of damn leaves or whatever they found, some type of stimulant, and then go into caves and damn create the whole constellations of the freaking universe out in these caves. So it's pretty cool shit. And there are hundreds of these symbols, hundreds. And then you have the Wonderwork cave paintings in 25,000 BC in northern South Africa. Then you have the Bomblos caves, and this is just pretty much the first development of writing by the Homo sapien, the black human. So now we're gonna do Proto-Saharan, which was 5,000 BC to 3,000 BC. Now, Proto-Saharan writing is one of the world's oldest known form of writing, and these are inscriptions, and these were found by archaeologists near the Karga Oasis, which is west of Nubia. So now we have a really cool one called Nsibidi, and again, if I'm pronouncing it wrong, I'm very sorry, but it's spelled Nsibidi. Now that was started in 5,000 BC, and it's actually still understood. It's still, currently used. So Nsibidi is an ancient script used to communicate various languages in West Central Africa, and it was most notably used by the Ikoi people of Nigeria and Cameroon. Nsibidi is also used by the nearby Ibe, Efik, Ibibio, Igbo, and Uyanga people. And the script is believed to date back to 5,000 BC, as we stated earlier. And the Nsibidi is actually quite similar to the Kemetic Meduneter, or Metuneter, however you pronounce it. But the symbols are even quite the same, like literally the same meanings and the same pictograms. So you see these pictures that I'm showing you of the Nsibidi writing. This looks like what the hell, but this is the way that we were doing it. And again, we always give all this credit to Egypt as being the most advanced civilization. As you can see, this Nsibidi writing literally has the same symbols as the Metuneter, and this is in West Africa. So that goes to show you that I keep telling y'all, Toph and we always talk about Anubis. They didn't just touch down in Egypt. They went and taught us all over the place. And remember, I was telling you about the baboon and the Ishambo bone, and how Tahuti was associated with the moon. And the first calendar that was found in Central Africa was that resemble the characteristics of Tahuti. So this is serious shit. I keep trying to wake y'all up, which many of you are waking up, but just a little bit more enlightenment. So that is the Insibidi writing. Now, of course, we're gonna go to the Megeneter, and these are your hieroglyphics. Now, these date back to 4000 BC to 600 AD. And as we know, Megeneter means the tongue of God, or God's word. So this was a very spiritual book, and it is a sacred engraving to our people. And even today, African Americans learn Megeneter and a lot of them do study the Insibidi, and they like to clown us, but there are some people that in our community that can know this language, and then also it's a spiritual language. So you got to be in tune with spirit. You have to have some. You have to study the language. You have to learn this stuff from an actual linguist who knows how to translate this stuff. And I forgot the terms that they use, and I forgot the other languages that you would have to know. But I do know Insibidi is one of them. But there's some other ones as well. This is a logosyllabic writing system in which symbols represent the words, as we were just talking about. And the first evidence from this writing system comes from a pre-dynastic pottery at Gizeh. And during the dynastic period, which is supposedly 3100 BC through 500 AD, Megeneter was used on all of the oldest historical texts, the Namar Pelet, and also in all of the pyramid texts and coffin texts and the scientific, spiritual, and administrative papyrus that they had. So this was just found on like all of the tombs and all of the pyramids, because it was a very sacred text. Again, it means word of God and tongue of God. And I told you, they give us these dates using carbon dating. Do we even know if it's accurate? I told you that Spirit told me that it's 15. This stuff is 15,000 years old. Like these dates that they're giving are wrong, because they know they didn't exist that long ago. So it's like, if it's 15,000 years ago, then it's a positive that these were black people doing it. So it's like, well, if you dated back 5,000 years ago, then you can usher in another group of people and say they did it. But this shit is actually old as hell, and ancestors certainly told me that, and anyone who is connected and tuned in or just intuitive will agree with that point. So that is our beloved Megeneter. And now let's talk about the Kemetic hieratic writings. And this is also 3200 BC, and stopped being used around 600 AD. And the term hieratic was first coined by Clement of Alexandria, which was a Greek theologian. And it's important to note that hieratic writing developed entirely distinct from the Megeneter script. And this writing was also simplified. They made it less complex. And these hieratic writings were used for administrative and scientific documents throughout the dynastic history of Kemet, and of course Kush, or what we know as Nubia. And it is also similar to Proto-Saharan writing. So now let's talk about Thinite writing system, which is 3200 BC to 2700 BC. So there was these pottery inscriptions found near the legendary city of Thinis in Upper Kemet, located between Abdu and Waset. And they're strikingly similar again to the Proto-Saharan writing. And it was said that Thinis was the home of Menes, which united Lower and Upper Kemet and established the first unified dynasty. Okay, so we have that. And now let's move on to Tifinagh or Mandi. So these were rock paintings at Oued Mertutek in southern Algeria, and this is the first writings like of the Moors, of the Berbers. So the Tifinagh writing system date back to 3000 BC, is also still used to this day, and it is used by the Amajag who mainly reside in West Africa currently. And that also includes Mali, Niger, Chad, Burkina Faso, and southern Algeria and southern Libya. And that is the group that is currently speaking this language and that understands the script. There are also people in the Sahara region that have adopted the use of the Tevanaf script. So, again, if I'm pronouncing this stuff, I apologize. But here you see these symbols again. So now let's talk about the Vey writing system. And this started in 3000 BC and it is still used today. And Vey is one of the oldest alphabetic scripts with over 150,000 users of this script in Liberia and Sierra Leone. And it is highly advanced syllabary. It has over 210 distinct characters representing various consonants and vowel sounds in the Vey language, which is a descendant of ancient Mandi that I was talking about earlier. So people like to say that Vey was a unique script invented in 1830 by West African who friends helped him remember it in a dream. But evidence of this the script and the inscriptions comes from Gundenka, Mali, which dates back to 3000 BC. So Vey's close similarity in relation to the writing systems in West Africa that were allegedly invented in the 1800s by people who had similar dreams, and this stuff can be found, guess where? In the Americas, in North America and in South America. So Vey is similar to those scripts that were invented by those Africans who said that they had these dreams and saw these writings. That could be true, but again, this writing system is ancient. And guess what? The scripts, other scripts that were older, share about 61% of similarity with the Vey script. So this Vey script is highly advanced. It was said to be invented as a unique script in 1830, but that is not true. It dates back to 3000 BC. These writings, the Vey script is closely related to Proto-Saharan and Tevanaf writing found all over the Sahara region. And it's linked to multiple writing systems in Africa, and it can even be found in the Americas, because remember, black people left, and that's how you see these dark Mexicans and dark Native Americans and those Olmec heads and all that shit. That's where these people were coming from. So that is the Vey script. So now we're going to talk about the Wadi El Ho or Proto-Semitic script. Again, pronunciations should be excused. So this started in 2000 BC through 1400 BC. So in 1999, Yale University archaeologists identified an alphabetic script in Wadi El Ho, which is a narrow valley between Thebes, which is Kemet, and Abydos or Abdu, and it dates back to around 1900 BC, and it's very similar to Megeneter again, but it also has more of the Proto-Saharan writing system similarity. And a similar inscription that dates back to 1500 BC was found in Africa's Sinai Peninsula, and is likely to be the basis of Proto-Canaanite or Phoenician scripts. So this obviously provides the proof that the Phoenician writing system was born in Africa. Again, this should be common knowledge, but again, they buried our history, lied about it. I showed you the conspiracies about mathematics. I mean, that was crazy. So now you see that they've done the same thing with the writing and say, the Phoenicians, they created the writing and da-da-da. But here we go proving some shit that's old as hell, that's found in South Africa, that's found in West Central Africa, as far as the Nsibidi, right? All these things that you are seeing and that many of you probably do know. You may have heard here and there about these things, especially if you're in the conscious community, but if you didn't, you should have your confidence raised by this information, because now you know in your soul as a Black American that Your ancestors, ancient ancestors, created pretty much all this shit. And of course, the African diaspora, the Haitians, Jamaicans, and all of the Africans in the continent, of course, in Britain, they will say the same thing too. Like, oh my gosh, like these is what our ancestors were doing before we got into that crazy ass situation. They will know that. And that is something that we need to be clearly aware of, that all of the things that I am teaching you as far as the Black Man series, and showing the Black man what is encoding in him. The Black woman already knows all this stuff is encoded in her, because she understands that subconsciously. That's why she acts the way she acts. But she also needs to know as well. Many of Black women have forgotten as well. So this is for both. But again, I gotta get the Black woman to be on her square. So that's why we start from the Black woman created the Black man, and what did she encode in the Black man. We start from there so that the Black woman can be on her square and restore the Queen Mothership. That's all she needs to know, is that she's supposed to be restoring the Queen Mothership, valuing intellectualism so she can teach these kids. And then these kids gonna grow up to value her image and put her first, and implement the Queen Mothership. So within 2 generations, the whole Black community is fixed. That is the crux of where I'm going with this. She teaching me her kids. She's valuing intellectualism. She's valuing her image and herself. No one puts no one above her. These kids are brainwashed and mind controlled to do the bidding of the Black woman. And the Black woman is righteous, and she understands herself, and she knows that she's God. She knows she has to lead with her man and raise a generation of future babies that are going to grow up to build civilizations. So, I mean, if that's something y'all can't rock with, y'all still want to be niggas, keep it moving. But this is where we may diverge. So now we got a couple more writing systems. Now we have the Napatan writing, which is also referred to like Meradic. But these were the Nubian people, of course. And it was 800 BC through 600 AD. So the Napatan script was developed in the new capital of Ethiopia in Kush, and remained in use after the capital moved to Meroe until the 7th century AD. And many of those steles that I was telling you about in the civilization, in the architecture part of the Ascom Empire, those steles have Napatan writings on them. And they also have Napatan inscriptions on temple walls and statues. So many of the linguists that are today did not attempt to translate the Napatan script, because they would start to realize that the motherfucking Egyptians was black, just to be honest with you. So they knew it, they didn't want to. But guess what? The Napatan script is literally easily deciphered to right now. Black people had to do it, black linguists. And it is literally a African language that is related to Taman, which is spoken in Darfur and Chad, and also northern Sudan. Literally, this language is still spoken to this day, but they kind of hide it, act like these. And Napatan script is ancient, because I mean this is Kush, so this is an ancient script that closely relates to all the other scripts that we were talking about, the Megeneter, and they said, oh, we don't know how to. The linguists say, oh, let's not bother to translate that. We don't know how to translate it. They translate, and as they started translating it, they started saying, oh shit, that's the language that them niggas over in Chad and Sudan is speaking. Okay, so let's act like we don't know how to translate it, so that we can, of course, still bury the history. Make it seem like, you know, oh, we don't know, it's so difficult to like they always do. Even they did that with Megeneter and all that shit. And that shit is related to the Insipidi language in West Central Africa. So, and of course that language is the same symbols in the Megeneter. So all this stuff is conspiracy to hide the history. So the Napatan script has been translated, that's just all you need to know. So let's talk about the Ethiopic script, or Ge'ez, or Ge'ez is spelled G-E with like apostrophe, and then it's like E-Z. And that was also 800 BC. That is also currently used today. Now this is another advanced script, consisting of 231 characters, and it is used to communicate in several Ethiopic languages. And the Eritrean and Ethiopian and Orthodox churches still use this, and of course the Israel churches, because Ethiopians have a lot of Jews, black Jews. So the Ge'ez script is mainly used by the speakers of Amharic, Tigray, and Tigrinya, and some other stuff. And there is evidence to suggest that it is older than the old Ethiopian scripts. So now let's talk about the old Ethiopian or Sabaean writing system, which was 700 BC to 600 AD. And Sabaean is another ancient writing script that is similar to Ge'ez, and it is a descendant of the Proto-Saharan system. The word Sabaean itself is derived from a Western name, Sheba, which, is obviously related to what modern Ethiopians call Makeda, And the Sabaean script is found all over Ethiopia and Yemen. And the Ethiopians colonized the Arabian Peninsula. It was not the other way around, contrary to popular belief. And the Sabaean writing has been found in Aksum, and as well as in the Temple of Yeha, which is in modern day Ethiopia. And what's pretty cool is that, again, Queen Makeda used this language during her reign. So that is the Sabaean or Old Ethiopian scripts. So next we have the Kemetic or the Demotic writing system, which was 650 BC through 600 AD. And the term Demotic was started by Greek writer and historian Herodotus to distinguish it from the Hieratic script. Because hieratic is it means priestly. It connotes more of the writings that the priests used. But Demotic is derived from demos, which means the common people. And this is what they use. And it is actually one of the world's first cursive, a flowing script. The Demotic scripts was used for legal agreements, administrative documents, and also employee timesheets, inventory lists, and friendly letters. So it was using cursive to communicate those things that I just aforementioned. So that's pretty cool. So now we're going to talk about more modern writing system, which is called the Nicole script. It's N''Ko. And this was created in 1949 to write the Bambara language, which was spoken by the people in Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire, Gambia, Guinea, Mali, and Senegal. And this writing has even been made into an app for tweeting. So we have the Nicole script. Next we have King Njoya of the Bamoun Kingdom, who wanted to preserve his culture during the time of the colonization in Cameroon in 1896. So he created the Shumam script, which was 465 characters. Because you have to remember, a lot of this stuff was oral text. So once they realized, it was always writing and stuff, but as far as preserving the history and you gotta remember, some tribes just strictly did oral still. They knew how to write, but they preferred oral. So this king in particular realized, oh shit, we're getting colonized, and our story may not be told if we don't write it down. So the African being the African, it was nothing to say, let's create some shit real quick, 465 characters, and let's create the Shemam script, which is going to preserve our history. And this was written, it was with hand-picked artisans, and he said, create this shit and tell our story. And he also invented the printing press, which was later destroyed. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know about King Njoya. And he left a legacy of manuscripts, maps, administrative notes, and records, and a calendar to detail the history and culture of his people. This information could still be found in the Bamoun Palace Museum. So he realized that once colonization was starting, them being an oral people who just like to tell their shit through the mind, realized that his kingdom was getting fucked up. And that, okay, rather than risk going extinct and no one ever knowing our names. Let's create something real quick. It ain't nothing, and let's do it. And he did it. So the stuff can still be found at the museum, and that's pretty amazing. Unfortunately, again, at certain, you gotta figure this is 1896 now. So you gotta figure colonialization. We already was getting our ass tore out the frame as a people. What, 200 years before that? As far as when the West Africans decided to sell their own people out, and it backfired. So now it just affected all of Africa. Once West Africa went down, boom, everything was going down. It's too late. So then people had to make those decisions. That's when people was getting kidnapped and shit. That's when the kidnappings and all that stuff was taking place, and the land was being stolen. Because it didn't have the people. Literally, people was missing. Whole ass villages was just gone. And within 10 years, whole ass villages just ceased to exist. And that is a fact. And I could show you letters of them saying, there ain't nobody in my village no more. What the hell going on? Because they were getting they started off selling their rival tribes. Then they said, we want more because it's a commodity. Why pay and do trade when we could just steal? And since the black man didn't think like that, or you thinking, oh, if you're gonna be fair, I'm fair. We're gonna come up with a contract and follow it. And you're gonna take the rival tribe, and then that's gonna be our deal. Deal is a deal, fair deal. No, nigga, we coming to get you too, and we just gonna steal your people because look, it's like taking baby from a candy. It's like, it's too late now. You don't have no reinforcement. You don't have no backup. You sold your tribes, being tribalists, and those are people that y'all should have been banding up together to fight off, to creating a code of conduct to not be infiltrated like that. Hopefully you learn the lessons in what I'm, saying when I'm telling you this history. So now let's move on to the writing system of the Basa people, which was started in Liberia in the 1900s. And again, this was lost during colonization. They wanted to destroy this stuff. So it is actually now taught in schools and used in literature and even in some newspapers. And it can be found among the Brazilians, because they took some of them too, and they took their ass to Brazilians, and those Brazilians come from Basa. A lot have come from Nigeria, of course, but these people came from Liberia, and they remembered that language. Even though the colonists was trying to destroy their scripts. So it's pretty crazy that, all in South America, this language is still being spoken. So, as we know, writing was absolutely invented in Africa. I mean, that's just indisputable. And not Mesopotamia like they tell us. Again, these conspiracies. And we have to correct these myths, and these are just literally treacherous lies to brainwash the African and to brainwash the whole entire world. And these things have been immortalized in books. 14 million artifacts in all these European museums. What do you think they are? You think they're just trinkets, toys? They're books. There's writing. They're math. They're everything that I showed you. They're artifacts. So we have to honor our contributions and our accomplishments. We must acknowledge it. This is the undoing of the brainwashing. I'm washing your brain. And black men, these things have been for you, because I know them, and the black woman, she knows this stuff. So now you need to remember it, and you need to implement it. Not just know it, implement it. Because we're coming to a close with this series. You don't need to emphasize, or rather, hegemonize other people's culture and their ways, Western society. You don't need to think like, oh, let me copy off of the white man's systems or anybody's systems, because you have your own system. It has to be restored. Your masculinity is within. It's not going to copy off of what everybody else is doing. It's within. Your masculinity doesn't look like the other world's masculinity, because you are a true egalitarian. You are a principled man who is cerebral. You have forgotten that, and that is a fucking problem. And that's why y'all see me bitching and whining and da-da-da. That's the real reason why the black woman, she's acting the way she's acting and disrespectful. Because even though she's not able to necessarily articulate these things, because she knows that something went wrong, but she don't quite remember herself. But then you have people who have been sent here, your prophets, your oracles, your priests, men and women, who say, look, black people, This is what happened. This is who we are. This is what we have done in the past. And now you get a picture of, okay, the Queen Mothership shit. Okay, I see that the diarchies, the egalitarian systems, the things that the black men were doing. This building stuff is fun to him. Creating writing systems and mathematics. Those were the things that you were doing in your spare time. You guys have no clue what the hell's going on planet Earth and in the universe right now. When I say people are in tune, men and women, they know, oh, the goddess is coming back. It's a wrap. Feminine energy is floodgating this planet. There's nothing you can do about it. So black men, you think you're like, oh, we're gonna have our turn to do a patriarchy. You had your turn and it just backfired on you. Literally, that's all. That's you did what you did 1,000 years ago and it fucking backfired. So now you can get your patriarchy. You can, well, whatever that word is, I don't even know if that's the right word, but your masculinity can be glorified again. I think that's a better word. Or your masculinity can be restored and honored again. Not by the rest of the world. Y'all gotta stop being obsessed with other groups of people too, but by your children and by your woman, if you want that. Because y'all been going astray and nothing has worked out for you. Keep going the way. Yeah, no, it's quite obvious to me what's the problem, you know, and it is a serious. I mean, it's multifaceted. It's layered. But what I will say is, you have that decision to make whether or not you want to step up to the mantle, because now it's dark energy time. And if you think that you can just abandon everything that's within your encoding, it would just continue. You would just continue to go astray, and eventually you will cease to exist. And I know that's heavy, but look at Sidney Poitier. Look at some of our. You could just see that physically. Like literally, your phenotype is literally ceasing to exist. And only you can restore that self-love to where you want to see your image in your kids and in your children, in your family and your woman. That's up to you, because whether or not you support the Queen Mothership or not, it's going to be here. It is literally going to be here. And you signing up for not that you're signing up, it's going to be some crazy stuff that takes place on this planet Earth that you will bear witness to, and you will know that everything I'm saying is true, and you will have no choice but to implement everything that I have ever said, everything, all of my teachings, and not just my teachings, but the teachings of our ancestors and of our brilliant minds like Claude Anderson and Francis Cress Welsing and Delbert Blair and Dr. Sebi, all of our greats, our James Baldwin, our Frantz Fanon, who else? So many. All of our inventors, anybody that is the pinnacle of intellect in our community, you're gonna see that you're gonna have to go back and follow everything that they said, and you are not going to have a choice but what's coming to you. If y'all think y'all about to kumbaya y'all way out of this, good luck. And that go for black women and black men. Those days are just done. You have no idea that people are literally going to be fighting for their damn survival. Literally. And they are going to try to use you to survive. And eventually that it's going to get so bad where y'all realize, like, it's going to be like a demon jump out of y'all, where like a beast just take over, and y'all know that y'all gonna fight to survive by any means necessary. Like it's gonna get to the point where y'all just realize, like, it's do or die if we do not follow our path and be righteous on this planet and restore our soul blueprints and follow our own way. We are going to perish. Hopefully y'all don't let it get that bad. Like, y'all should see the writings on the walls now of what you guys have to do. But if not, you know, the dark goddess will deal with you, and this planet Earth will deal with you. So black men, you have a chance to navigate the karmic retribution. You already dealt with your karma for 1,000 years. It's 2020. It's actually time's up. You're actually free. Black woman, black man, you're free mentally. That 400 years is up. That karma, that shit y'all was pulling, all that jealousy of each other, selling each other out, being tribal and all that shit. Y'all supposed to be over that. Y'all dealt with the consequences of that for 1,000 years. So y'all supposed to be past that. And the fact that y'all still stuck in that programming is what's frustrating to the universe. And a lot of these things are going to be remedied and balanced automatically. You will see it balance out. But it's interesting, like this whole phenomena of the energy that I feel on this planet, and where your conscience is going. There has been ounce of, sophistication in our thought processing as a people. So that is pretty cool. Some of us are light years ahead. Everything that I'm saying most likely will resonate with you, but a lot of the shit that I'm about to show y'all is going to be 100 years ahead of your time. Even the Queen Mothership is a bit early for y'all. I've been talking to black women, and they looking at me like I got two fucking heads when I tell them that the black woman is God, and that the pinnacle of the establishment of the culture relies on her, literally solely her. She actually has to write down some tenets and say, this is my fucking culture, implement it, or I will take y'all asses out. Like, literally, she looking at me like I'm crazy. And I'm saying, listen, sis, these are the things we need to do. We are the first teacher of children. We have to hurry up and literally obtain so much knowledge and so much intellect in our brains so that we can teach our children. And that requires a lot of fucking reading, a lot of research, and that is the nature of the black woman. She can understand anything. So all she got to do is read a couple of things and teach it to her children, and her perspective, expertise, things that she likes though. So she's learning things that she likes, and all the black women learn things that they love, and they experts and they intellects in it, and then they can teach their children. And it's a feedback loop, and it's an interdisciplinary learning process, because if she loves science so much, she loves astronomy so much, she teach her kid astronomy. But another black woman, she loves writing so much, she knows, she's a linguist. So then we teach our kids things, and those kids are teaching each other, and we are so close as a sisterhood that we teaching each other's children. That's how powerful this system is. Y'all don't even get it. Y'all looking at me like I have two heads, and it's a simple fucking concept. Y'all learn what y'all love to learn and become an expert in it. Whether it's science, whether it could be poetry, it could be anything. It's just something that you are good in. Baking, like herbalism, just something that the black woman is so phenomenal in. She picks one thing, a couple of things. Some of us are polymaths. I am a polymath. I know I do quite a couple of things pretty damn well. So you're gonna find other black women that way too. And when we get with each other's children, when we teach our children these things, then we get with the other women and say we have play dates, and the kids they are mingling with each other. They're learning. It's a learning process, not through like a textbook or like the typical educational process, but just through intermingling, like hands-on experience. These kids are teaching each other because the black woman is so intellect, and so she's so intelligent in the expertise of what she's supposed to be knowing. Then they're going over each other's house, and they're doing this homeschooling thing, and the kids are learning another lesson. It's just a free flow of intellectualism, and you will see those scripts and all them 700,000 math scripts that black men were creating. Where do you think they got that? How do you think they knew how to do that? You think they and Egypt and all that, they didn't have no university, no. I'm going too far here, and now I'm knocking against the status quo too much. But all I'm saying is, this is how it goes. How do you think the black man knew all this information? From watching his mom and dad. But who was his dad watching? His mom. Who was his dad's dad watching? His mom. So this process came from the woman. Why do you think I always talk about the black woman is the black man's creator? So this process is a simple process. A lot of y'all looking at me, I be talking to y'all don't be feeling me. Y'all will feel me, because you think this system is going to last the way it is, and it's just not. I'm sorry to tell you. Y'all stuck on this matrix. Y'all need this system now. Y'all addicted to it, and this shit is about to fall, and there's nothing y'all could do about it. Y'all will have to start from scratch. So everything that I'm telling y'all now, y'all better start writing it out and downloading my shit, because y'all gonna need it, whether it's 50 years from now, 100 years from now, 500 years from now. What I'm saying is what's in your nature, and what I'm saying is what you will absolutely eventually implement. with or without me. You guys are going to do it. You're not going to have any choice. Y'all going to see all this shit crumble, and y'all going to be looking at each other with like y'all all y'all got, because ain't nobody going to fuck with y'all. They going to still trying to be sabotaging your ass, still killing your ass, and still hating on you. So you all you got, and all that crying and marching, y'all ain't even going to be thinking about that, because y'all going to be thinking of surviving. So all that marching around and trying to, it's not going to be a system to protect you. Y'all don't get that. I'm way ahead of my time. I'm way ahead of it. But it is what it is. I'll say this and I'll end this. I'm in this video. Y'all better. Okay. So here's a recommendation. Black men, I want you to get this book called African Alphabets. It is a story of writing in Africa, and it's a collated introduction to the history and development of literally more than 20 African alphabets, and it goes through the pictograms and the devices and the Saki charts, and literally how the evolution of writing came to develop across Africa. So you talk about the pictograms, the tally sticks, the scarification, literally as the precursor for all of our writing systems. So that book is very special to me. It should be special to you. They try to make this book $800. Literally, they trying to hide the shit, because this was written by a black man. It was the only book written on African languages. And this guy who wrote it, I think he's a genius. He was here. I think he went to Yale, and he packed up his shit, and I think he went back to Zimbabwe, I want to say, and started his own damn school. See what the black man can do when he believes in himself. So he wrote this book. They be trying to hide the shit, but it's about $800. But you can't find this book for, I want to say, $100 now, $100 online. So yes, that's called the let me get it for you again. African alphabets, and African is spelled Afrikan. So, and alphabets is spelled the regular way, and it's the story of writing in Africa. And Africa, he spells Africa with a K for some reason. I think I forgot the reason why they do that. I can't remember, but anyways, very important information for you to know. I go on tangents a lot. That's my. It is what it is. I be literally going off the cuff. I got some notes here and there around here, so I don't forget my thought process on what I'm saying. But a lot of the tangents, I'm just sitting here looking at trees and with a Motivite crystal and rambling. So black woman, black man, black baby, tune in to get that information absorbed in your brain. No more of this. I can't take the self-hatred. I cannot. Like, y'all have no idea, like, the places I've been in my life where I was like, places where it's like 6 black people and shit, and the rest is all white. And I guess that's kind of why I'm so traumatized, and where I'm so, you see it, like, I won't say traumatized, but I would say like so like gung-ho about history, African history, and black people, because I've seen like just disturbing things of that we do to each other. I've seen like severe self-hatred in people from all walks of life, whether they were wealthy, middle class, not so, low income, whether they from Black American and African. Just seeing I'm just so disgusted, and I'm like, do these people not know who they are? Do they not know themselves? Or what the hell is the crux of why they backstabbing each other and looking to get the Scooby snack and be a pet Negro and be a token? It's just strange, and I've never been that way, and people actually gravitated more towards me because of that, because people know, regardless of what their race is, that they can learn from me, because I am a teacher of sorts, a natural scholar, and I know that for the most part, and I'm a spiritual teacher, so people know that they can learn from me. And I've just been in situations where black people gun for me and they gunning for each other, where all I'm sitting here thinking like, hey, it's only 6 of us, only 4 of us, only 3 of us. We gotta get to come together, stick together, be honorable, have this loyalty, and we gotta start, being strategic, and we gotta figure out how we all gonna stay on top. And if I'm the top dog, that means I've literally helped black men write their papers in graduate school, because they wasn't really, up to par with their writing or whatever, or they probably just wanted, probably wanted me to just write the shit, who knows. But helping them and all that, just for them to fucking backstab me. Same with the black woman. Gave a black woman 6 of my papers, because she was failing the course, and I gave her 6 of my papers and say, use it as a reference. That's what I said. I didn't give them to her for plagiarism. I gave it to her as a reference so she could see the actual breakdown of what like we were learning and stuff, and so she can get caught up and pass. Only for her to backstab me and try to get me to fail the class by telling me that a professor told her, she emailed the professor and he told her that we could miss 3 assignments in a row and still pass because of, it was some shit. It was some crazy shit. But I did believe it. I was just stupid, and I did believe it. I wanted to believe it. Who don't want to believe that they can miss 3 assignments and shit and still pass, according to like the calculations of the grade or whatever? Man, that guy turned around and said, "You missed 1 assignment. You failed the entire course. 1 assignment." This is how it was. I went to one of them schools. And I said, well, what are you talking about this 3 assignment? Like, he said, I ain't never say no shit like that. What is you talking about? It was always the policy. I don't read the syllabus. I just look at the modules and do the shit. I read syllabus now, but I'm just saying, I beyond, I'm like 4 degrees later, you don't read the syllabus. So, I believed her, and he was like, I ain't never say no shit like that. It was, he ain't saying it like that. I'm being dramatic, but that was never what I said. It was always 1 assignment missed, fail the entire course. So I'm looking at her like, why you do that to me? Why would you do that to me? Like, I was so hurt, But that's how my people been doing. I know y'all nature. Like, when I say I'm not naive to y'all nature, I know y'all literally backstab each other, lie on it. It's just weird to me. I can't understand it, so that's why I'm hurt. So the best thing I can do is at least try to teach the direct members of my family as well as the children. And if y'all want to be a part of my family, and if y'all want to be a direct member, I'm open to that. Because believe it or not, these teachings, these videos go up, right? Do you know I literally sit kids in my family down and make them watch these shits? It's virtual, because the kid that I'm helping raise don't live with me. He's in another city, in another state. But we do, one of them Zoom, one of them virtual conferences, and I'll make his ass literally sit and watch my YouTube videos, because I made them for him. Because I don't be feeling like here, just watch the shit, and then y'all end up watching the shit too. So if y'all want to be a part of the Nakti Queen Mothership, be a part of my family, and again, everything is about honor, integrity to me, loyalty, an oath. I don't play none of that backstabbing weirdo shit, all this black YouTube shit. Y'all love beefing with each other, hating on each other. I don't play that over here. Y'all, it just don't go down like that. Y'all not dragging me into no beef and none of this craziness. Y'all will see. Y'all talk about Amenhotep, our ancestors, and Tahuti and Anubis. They run through me. We not playing none of that bullshit over here. We are going to rise as a people. Fucking with me. So if y'all can't, y'all self-esteem is low, I try to help you raise it. If y'all feel like y'all can't live up to that, don't feel like you can. Don't do that at all. Because once you really discover my background, y'all are gonna be like, what the fuck? Because I did not come from no privileged background, whatever, and came from literally the underbelly of American society, like stuff that you would never believe. But through my awakening and my enlightenment, I have been on this path since. I'm not even gonna get into it. Look, just fuck with me and stay tuned for the next video. So I'm gonna talk to y'all later. Bye.